What's up? Pick Central Wednesday edition, August 14th.
That's correct.
August 14th. Lot to get to. A couple different things to get to. Hard Knocks on the back burner. J.J. McCarthy's injury. We didn't really go fully in depth. But let me tell you about our friends at DraftKings. Throw another shrimp on the barbie. Get all in on the UFC 305 action live from the land down under at the DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the UFC. The middleweight title's on the line for the main event, but the card is stacked full of rip snorter blokes and shillelaghs. And speaking of stacked, if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code PICKCENTRAL. That's code PICKCENTRAL for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. UCF 305. It's going to be a ripper of a good time. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. When this main event, or what's the why? So do they always go down to?
They usually
Australia?
do like once a year. We got some big-time Australian. I mean, it's a huge title fight. Adesanya is one of the biggest stars the last, 5-10 years. He lost his title. Now he's getting a fight with DDP that they've, always wanted. And it's kind of, flipped on its end where, Adesanya was the champ. DDP was coming up. Now, Adesanya ended up losing. Then DDP beat Strickland to get the belt. So now it's, reversed. But they have crazy beef. Adesanya is, Nigerian, but he grew up in New Zealand. And Dries du Plessis is South African, so he kind of said I'm the first born and still living and training out of African champ. That drove some of the African guys nuts. So it caused kind of whole beef with them. So it's big time beef, big time fight. But the card's stacked. It's gonna be awesome.
It's this Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
Okay.
Main card at 10, prelims at 7 Eastern.
All right.
I'm fired up.
All right,
Fired
I like
up.
that.
Well, spin back this will have a parlay on DraftKings as well. Cook it up today.
Look it up. All right, let's start with the Mets-A's last night, which I know is not necessarily the biggest spot to start normally, but this guy, Austin Adams, you watched this last night?
No, I didn't see
All
it.
right, Austin Adams gets released by the Mets earlier in the year. They DFA'd him.
Right.
Goes to the A's, comes in a big spot. It's 7-4 with two guys on. Strikes out, I think gets 2 outs, but definitely strikes out Alvarez, gets out of it, does the big, oh my God, you see him as he's walking to the dugout, say, look at these pieces of shit, or whatever to the Mets. So did he act like an asshole? I wrote a blog about it. 100%. I think he acted like a look at me type of asshole. But the Mets can't be crying. Diaz is crying, saying it's over the line. They're doing the celebration. You can't be crying if a guy comes in and shuts you down. Score more runs.
Yeah,
That's where the Mets are at.
I also
right
don't
now.
think
They can't be feeling sorry for themselves. Score more runs. You scored 0 against the Mariners, and now you're getting you gave up 9 to the fucking A's with Black Bag of shit, who stinks. Score more runs, or just go get a hit when it's 7-4 and the game's in front of you.
Yeah,
That's where I'm at.
Or don't cut the guy and then let him pack it up your ass later.
yeah. I mean, Austin Adams is kind of a wild guy. So he's ton of walks. He's a reliever, and he's leading the American League in hit batters, which is crazy. That's hard to do.
Wow.
Well, man, Clemmer, he actually has the record for most hit batters in a season.
Yeah.
24 in his carear.
Yeah, it's just insane. This guy's not a typical pitcher. Now he came in. Yeah, he got the win last night. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I don't mind guys who kind of show emotion on the field. I think it makes baseball more exciting. Baseball it's a good thing. I like when guys flip the bats. I like when guys get excited. And like you said, the Mets, I go to a ton of Mets games. I know Phil does too. When the Mets hit a home run, they play the song. They go crazy. When the Mets when the other team brings in a reliever at home at night games, they shut all the lights off and have the fans do this thing with their phones and go, oh. It's this weird thing. So there's a lot of showmanship on the one side. So then if that happens, you can't get pissed off when it happens on the other side.
No, and he's got every right. He got released by us and then came in and stuck it up our ass.
Yeah, and if the Mets have any balls, they would win the next 2 games. And then it's must-win game versus the Oakland A's. That's where we're at in August.
Yeah, that's...
And just one other note on Austin Adams. He has every right to do it. It is weird to do it versus the Mets when he's been, top 5 different teams. Is he doing that versus the Padres or D-backs if he gets a big out?
I guarantee he would. I would think he probably
I hope he would.
Yeah, he's got a list.
I don't have. Then again, the Mets also kind of, like I said, do go a little overboard with some of their celebrations.
Yeah.
You can go back to Edwin Diaz, the trumpets. The Mets have fun out there, which they should. I like that. It makes it fun to be a Mets fan. But then you can't get upset when they do the same thing to you.
Yeah, every right to do it. Just said it. It was out of nowhere because I don't think anybody knew the Mets cut him until last night.
Right. I didn't know it either.
Now,
I had no idea.
Some people were saying,
I was like, why is he so fired up? And then they said, well,
I think he's also a crazy person.
Agreed.
Now, the other thing that pissed people off was after he struck the guy, he was like, get the fuck out of here, you fucking piece of shit. You could read his lips. That's kind of what he was saying. And it's like, oh, don't say it. But I don't know. If you're in a big moment, he might have just been like, not saying it necessarily to the player he got out, more along the lines of like, let's go, let's get the fuck. Like, I don't think he was.
Right. It's better than what the Red Sox said.
Yeah, that's true. Right?
There's been a lot worse things done on the baseball field in recent days than what happened last night.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Mets should stop clutching their pearls and just well, how about you just worry? Now we're 2 back at the Braves. Just win some fucking baseball games. I don't really.
Yeah.
I don't care about Austin Adams. I care about the Mets winning.
The crazy part of this too is like, if the Mets were just competent in this road trip, they went 4-6 and now they lose this one. Philly's not playing well. I don't know if you're paying attention to it.
No, I mean
They're not playing well at all.
But we're still 8
This
back.
division.
I know you're
No. I'm saying what percent do I think we have to win the division?
Probably like
zero.
1.
No, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. But what I'm saying is Philly was giving us a hell of a lot of opportunities to get to a point where you could have went, it's only 3 games?
I know.
You have 7 against them? And the Mets couldn't get on top of that. But that goes to show, like, transition to Philly, is Philly in panic mode? Because Philly was lights in front of everybody.
Nah, I don't think I don't think they should.
They have such a big lead. They have a 6-game lead over the Braves.
Panic
8 games
mode in
over
terms
us.
of the World Series.
No.
But it's all
too early.
I talked with Clem yesterday with the Yankees, and I would imagine the Phillies feel a very similar way.
It's a long season.
It's just the playoff. Yeah, one, it's a long season. 2, like, they're at a point, like, listen, they're going to be in the playoffs.
They're going to win the division.
Like, yeah, exactly.
It's even different than the Yankees.
It's
Like,
just all about
division's locked up.
but it's more just what they do. But I'm saying they've been like close enough, especially recently, that all that matters for them is just what happens in the postseason. Like I don't think you're hitting the panic button on like winning the World Series off like a small stretch in August. It's just going to be what team shows up playoff time.
They're not hitting a panic button unless they're trailing in a playoff series. It's August, and they have
but they just don't.
record in
They
the National
don't.
League.
Yeah, if they just don't look good, you know what I mean.
They're 14 and 21 since July.
Yeah.
Both can be true. They don't have to hit the panic button, but they don't look good. Both can be true.
I mean, there's not going to be a 100-win team this year.
No, there's not.
Like, there's no like historically good. Like, there's no team you watch every night. It's like, wow, I'm watching like history in front of my eyes right now. There's no 2023 Braves. There's no 113 win Dodgers. Like, there's some good teams. There's no great team.
Right. Well, there is history, the White Sox, but right.
On
no
the other
positive
end,
history.
yeah.
On the other end, yeah.
No, you're absolutely right, Phil. There is no dominant team. I think that the difference between the Phillies situation and the Yankees situation is the Phillies have a 6-game lead. The Yankees have a half-game lead.
I wasn't talking about that. I was saying more just like
Waves of a season.
like nothing matters until the playoffs. Like in terms of like
Right. Both teams are definitely
like they're teams that see it as like World Series or bust.
Yeah.
Like nothing that happens now is going to have any impact on like
Correct.
Like it's just that's what I meant. Now they're in
Unless
they're different situations in terms of like their leads.
If I'm a Yankees fan, I'm a little bit nervous. Like, do I want to play that first series or not? But then it all goes back to matchups because there's some teams in the AL that you shouldn't be afraid of playing, and there's some teams that you should be.
For sure. No, I don't. Obviously, I said yes. Obviously, I like to win the division, but
you're getting it.
This is like I said. This is for me. This is formality to the playoffs.
Yeah,
because they could win the division. They could win a million games, but if they lose in the ALCS, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's
like it doesn't fucking matter. I don't give a fuck about winning the division if they don't win the World Series.
Right, but I guess you're playing that first series though just makes that World Series.
Sure, but it to me like the team they play like it shit like to me just if you're the best team like you should go whack like it doesn't matter if you win the wild card division.
How many games do you have left with the Orioles?
Question actually.
Oh, this is actually an important part. So do you have one series left versus the Orioles? The Yankees are 4-6 versus the Orioles. The only way to get the tiebreaker is if they sweep them. And that's because their last game, what was it, Verdugo? Volpe had the error, Verdugo had the fly ball.
Yeah.
It's a pretty huge swing.
So it would have been 5-5, and then the winner of that series takes it.
Yeah.
So they're likely not to get the tiebreaker then. Yeah.
You just got to beat them on the field.
And then Jazz Chisholm, the news came out late yesterday. It's a UCL injury. Best case scenario, I think, is if it's just a sprain, not a tear and everything. You still got to rest him for like 4 weeks to get him back. And that's best case scenario. If it's a tear, then he's going to miss significant time.
He'd be done. I mean, he'd be done for the year.
Oh no, even because you guys have him under control for next year. I start to worry about even a little bit into next year.
He'd be ready for opening day next year.
Even if it's torn.
Yes, because position players come back from
It's a
that.
non-throwing too.
Yeah, position players come back from that in a shorter span.
Okay.
Although some guys, when they come back from that, their power's not all the way back.
That's what I worry about.
Like Harper's power last year wasn't all the way back
Right.
till like middle of the year. Unless you're Shohei Ohtani, who just doesn't need UCL to hit home runs, I guess.
He's his own species. He's incredible.
This is what happened with Didi Gregorius 2019, I think.
Was it non-throwing for him too?
I don't know if it was a non-throwing hand, but he had to get Tommy John. Aaron Hicks had it too. I mean, it's happened with the Yankees a bunch. Jason Dominguez.
Yeah, and this one was so fluky. I don't know. I guess they all are for hitters, but yeah, it was a strange one, and it really hurts the Yankees. I mean, now you guys don't have.
Bad.
I mean,
It's really bad.
it's going to be rough. The Orioles have their own injury problems with Grayson, so we'll see what happens.
That's an interesting division. You know what I mean? It's straight up.
And you got the Red
Straight up
Sox fighting
race.
for a wild card too in that division.
Yeah, it's a straight up.
They're
race.
6.5 back. I mean, they're still in the mix. I don't think they're for real, but they're still there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, what about the Rockies? You just ditching the Rockies?
Oh no, that's alive.
Yeah.
That
What was
is
it,
alive.
54 and a half?
Yeah, let's see.
I don't know if it's alive. You got to.
Well, the White Sox are eliminated from the AL Central.
They need 16 more wins.
16 more wins. They need 60 wins, right? So you got to go 60 and you got to go 20 and 20, roughly.
They're 44 and 77.
Right.
So
So you need 20 wins, right?
This is locked up in my.
So you need to go 500 the rest of the way. 16. Oh, all right. So 16 and 24 then. 16 and
Possible.
25.
That's doable.
Possible.
Doable.
This is- and they're-
Doable.
They're fighting with teams. They're beating the Braves.
No,
they're playing the D-backs.
They blew it last night.
beat the Mets.
Dukes, they killed it. They were winning literally the whole game and blew it in the bottom of the ninth.
Okay, never mind. I haven't checked in the last 10, but the 10 before that, they looked good.
No,
Yeah, they did.
they're actually they're competitive. Brenton Doyle is a really good center fielder. Watch out for him. He could be a top 20 player in baseball because he's so good defensively. And now he learned to hit. Toglia is starting to hit a little bit.
Ryan McMahon's really good.
Ryan McMahon's incredible
And
defensively.
if the bet loses, I have a scapegoat, Nolan Jones.
Nolan Jones was
Nolan Jones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
at
that,
this point.
Damn
the reason
Nolan
I took
Jones.
the bet, the reason I took the bet was because of Nolan Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who I don't think he's played much this year.
Oh yeah, he was terrible. The Rockies though were fighting though. They're not like some of these other teams you see that just completely lie down. The Rockies are actually still fighting.
Yes, they are.
Somebody in the chat was like, "This bet's gonna easily hit," like last week.
I don't know.
Yeah,
A
now
lot of work to do. Phil, so you made the point there's no excellent teams. Do you think my theory of a top-tier team is going to win the World Series, it should be a little bit worried?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, if you get in, you have a chance. Like I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know either. I'm just.
It all depends on-
hypothetical.
it depends on what you
Mets
can
have a
put it-
chance?
No,
I don't.
No.
Oh,
I don't.
no.
But it's more. Put it this way: Yankees, Orioles, Dodgers, Phillies, first field.
You forgot me the best team in baseball the last couple months, the Astros.
Yeah,
I'd probably take the field if you give me those 4 teams.
Yeah, me too.
you take the field.
Because I'm getting the Astros, I'm getting the Diamondbacks,
Yeah, I'm taking. I think
Yeah, I
taking
would
those
take the
4.
field.
I think I'm taking those.
I'm getting the
Oh,
Braves.
all right, so then you do think it's going to be somebody.
I don't know. I'm just like if that's
I'll take those 4.
I would take the field purely off of just the variance. Like,
Right.
yeah.
yeah, those are 4 good teams. But like, I don't think the Diamondbacks are probably just as good as the Phillies.
Diamondbacks are really, really good.
Like,
man.
if you tell me like who I
Gallen's
think,
hurt again though.
I'm getting the Mariners too. I'm getting the Astros and Mariners. Like that's a lot for me. And those are the 2 teams
I think I would take the 4. I just have a weird feeling it's not going to be a wacky year.
I don't think it's wacky if the Astros and Mariners win though.
Okay.
yeah, no, I agree with Clint.
Yeah, but you
It'd be
can't- I
kinda
can't
whack.
take-
If they made the World Series,
I can't
that'd be
take
pretty-
all of the fucking favorites.
I know. I'm
In
just
this-
saying.
in this
Like the
hypothetical.
Yankees and so you said top teams were Yankees and Orioles.
Yankees, Orioles, Dodgers, and Phillies.
Yeah, all of those teams. The Phillies are the only team that don't have like injury problems right now, and the Phillies have their own issues with just like getting out of their own way. The Dodgers are not the Dodgers of last year.
Right.
Now they just got Mookie Betts back. They got Walker Buehler pitching tonight. Is he back? I don't know. He has a 5.8 ERA this year in the majors. He's got a 5 ERA in the minors. So like, it's not the same Walker Buehler. Like, I don't know if these teams are the same as they were. And the Astros have been like we were talking about yesterday in the show. Since May, the Astros are the best team in baseball.
yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. Like,
It's like somehow, someway, you'll find the Astros in the ALCS like used to do the last 7 years.
And the Mariners, I mean, it's not crazy because they have a lot of talent. But, like, the Mariners, the pitching has been elite, and now they just got a Rosarena and Justin Turner, and, like, that's giving them a big boost. And they got Julio Rodriguez back.
Only one game, obviously. They got their fucking
Verlander out?
doors
What's
blown
going on
off
with
yesterday.
He's had a neck injury for 2 months.
Verlander's come back in 2 weeks.
Verlander's coming back.
That's what they
and they've
say.
been doing this?
Now, is he going to be the Verlander that we know? Probably not. It looks like he's a guy that probably has like a 3.80 ERA. That we get into, but even that Verlander can help. And Renault Blanco's been really good. And then
What are the
Amber?
Astros right now to win the World Series?
Let's pull it up.
Because that ballpark too, we talk about it too, is just something about that ballpark for playoff games.
You mean, you mean the part where they were able to just cheat?
yeah.
Their ballpark's great when they know what pitches.
Well, you know what I'm talking about.
It does help.
No, I think that's
Weird
exactly.
angles.
I think that's pretty much what you. I don't think you meant to, but that's. I wonder why they've had such. I wonder why that series with the Yankees, they won every home game and lost every away game.
Feels like Bulls.
I wonder how that happened.
In that fucking
Astros are
ballpark.
plus 1,200 to win the World Series. That's sixth best behind Guardians plus 1,100. Orioles plus 750. Phillies plus 600. Yankees plus 550. Dodgers plus 350.
I got to tell you, Mariners at 35-1. Just saying. I like that
Good
team
pitching.
a lot.
If they get in, yeah, I agree.
I think they're going to get in.
And that's how you get the value now, I guess.
Yeah, that if you talk about
Well,
like,
how would they not get a wild card? Are they
right now, they're not in.
Or they're
They're-
not.
No, I think what are they?
Oh yeah, because you were saying that's an old
They're
school
two back.
divisional race, right?
Yeah, right now they're a game and a half out of the West, but they're 2 back of the wild card. But the teams in front of them, the Red Sox are a game back. The Red Sox are not good; they're falling apart. The Royals look very weak. They're the team right now. So if you're 2 out. That's all. Mariners is 2 out of the wild card, and they're a game and a half out of the division.
Honestly, the problem with the AL is that you're obviously getting both the Yankees and the Orioles. You're gonna get Guardians and Twins.
Right, most likely.
So I mean, you're thinking like you're really just fighting for that one spot. Like
They're only
Sox.
4.5 back of the Twins.
Yeah.
I guess that's true. I guess they still have
And
a big
also,
run at that.
you talked about the Astros home field advantage in the playoffs. They only won one home playoff game last year.
Who?
The Astros.
No,
Well,
something about that.
All of a sudden, they
ballpark.
can't. All of a sudden, once they know,
No, it's literally
they
just
don't
the
just
Yankees.
win every home game.
It's just the Yankees. Like the World Series versus the Nats, they lost every home game. ALCS last year, they lost every home game.
No,
it's just when the Yankees go
something about
there.
that ballpark of when a home run goes out and the place goes fucking berserk. I just remember that through a million different playoff games. Is that a fair assessment to say?
Their home field advantage really isn't that crazy. It's just the Yankees.
Well, no, they just had the stretch where they were cheating and
They had it, so,
they
yeah.
won them all.
That helped. That was
Phil
also,
just like rounded about the times when they weren't.
I completely agree that has been completely glossed over, and people should talk about it more. But I don't. That's been so long ago now. I don't think that has an effect this year. I would pray it doesn't. But you're right, Ev. Like it's the fact that MLB swept on the rug is despicable. I'm not arguing that at all.
I can't believe Rico's just like, oh, they just
It's
won all those
insane.
home games.
I didn't say that.
Crazy that they won a World Series, but like
They got
like,
a crazy
it's,
ballpark. That's
It's
what-
insane.
Yeah,
But
you're right.
I will say this Astros team. That's not. It is a different. I would hope it's a different.
That series just hurts that one specifically because that was, I think, like the Yankees team that like would have got over the hump if they had won that series.
You guys would have gotten the World Series, and the Dodgers have the same thing. Poor Yu Darvish, like he got crushed twice, and it cost him a lot of money. Like I mean, the Dodgers.
It didn't cost him a lot of money. He got paid.
He would have got more though, Phil. Like that, that was a stain on him. The Dodgers and Yankees have every right to gripe about that. That was bullshit.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
they do.
I just want to get it back. I would love to. Beating them in the playoffs would just be, just unbelievable.
Do you think it's too late?
What do you mean?
Like
Like too much time has passed.
No, absolutely not. Because a lot of the core, especially for the Astros, is like
Bregman, Altuve.
That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of their best guys are still like the same best guys. Obviously, there's been some turnover, but I mean,
But they don't have playoff caliber.
the core on both ends is still there. Some of it, at least.
Wasn't that the argument last year you guys got into that they don't have playoff caliber? Like,
I said that they did.
right. Did that end up
It was pedigree was the argument, right?
And-
It didn't quite work out for them last year.
But
they just wanted all.
Well,
So did they
they
lose
made
it?
they made a hell of a run, and
I guess they didn't make the World
The
Series.
Rangers had more playoff pedigree.
It was the Rangers and Diamondbacks in the World Series last year. I don't know if pedigree really helped very much.
and here they are, just back again.
Well, because they're good. No, they're not. It's not back again. The Rangers aren't very good. The Rangers are struggling this year, but these are talented teams. That's why they win. It's not because of pedigree. It's
A lot of
talent.
pedigree.
Pedigree, yeah. Pedigree, okay.
Dukes, how you
World Series, yeah.
Dukes, how you doing? Your boy is potentially out for the year. JJ McCarthy.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Jaron Dern.
No.
No, he's not gonna be out for the year. We talked about it yesterday. He's gonna be out for like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 weeks.
know, man.
Like a month and a half.
But if they go in there and see it's damaged, he's out for the year definitely.
I think on a
He could
meniscus,
be.
you could play within 4 weeks. I don't think he's going to.
I have not seen 4
Dr.
weeks
Dukes.
anywhere. I'll
Who's
say
starting
that.
over there? Darnold then?
Darnold's
Darn-
going.
yeah.
They'll be fine.
Is Darnold the guy who can like kind of resurrect his career?
No.
Sure.
If he can't with this team, he never will.
Completely agree.
Like,
That I agree with.
The receivers are unbelievable. Oh, I've said it a million times. The line's good. Receivers are good. Like, good running back. Like, if you can't do it with this team, you just stink.
This is his last best
Flat out,
situation.
Yeah, this is the last.
And now that he doesn't have McCarthy breathing down his throat, he's got the ball. So go. Let's see what you can do. I root for the kid. I like him.
Yeah. It's a tough division. That we say it all the time. That's a fun division. I think both Norths are awesome.
They are.
Oh, yeah.
It
4D.
just came out. J.J. McCarthy could be out 4 to 6 weeks or 4 to 6 months.
Yeah.
That's
You
a
say
hell of a-
Duke's like, nah, I'll be back in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
If it's just a
4
meniscus-
weeks is like the best case scenario
Yeah.
ever. 4 weeks.
I don't, dude. A cleanup of the.
What do you mean
meniscus-
you don't know?
No, I'm saying
You're not a doctor. What do you mean you don't know?
With the meniscus injury, if it's just a cleanup, it's 4 to 6 weeks. Like
They're saying minimum. That is.
Why
like
are you going to rush
best
this kid
case
back?
scenario.
Doesn't make any
I'm not
sense.
saying he's going to play in 4 weeks. I think this is like we're going to split hairs over this. I think that like he could be ready to go in 4 weeks. He's not going to play in 4 weeks. It'll be like if he plays earliest, it's going to be like 7.
October.
Yeah.
They have to buy in week 6. We looked it up yesterday. I would.
If it's
if you see him before December, I would be stunned.
But if Sam Darnold just, is really good, they don't need J.J. McCarthy.
Right.
Oh.
Like Darnold had to be a disaster, or Darnold have to have some horrible injury himself. Because if you're the Vikings, why are you going to rush this kid back?
That's what
You
I'm
can,
saying.
by the way, you can re-aggravate a meniscus. It literally just happened to Mike Trout. Now Mike Trout, I know, is made of glass, but you also want to be careful with this.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're not putting this dude out on like a live field for at least. I'm saying like game.
Why would
Why
you?
would you? Why risk
What's the
getting him hurt?
gain? What's
Worst
the benefit?
Couple months.
You're picked last in that division. You are like a contender for a wild card spot, I guess, if you get the right breaks.
You have an option.
Go
that's
get yourself
decent
a
now.
top 15 pick and then build around McCarthy for next year.
I think that makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, I mean they're not gonna. Dude's a ride. He's trying to fight what he considers the good fight.
Yeah.
Get it?
What?
I will just doing tricks on McCarthy.
I mean, I would be spiraling if I've been saying for the last year that he wasn't a good quarterback. So I understand like you and Brandon just like spiraling with the JJ McCarthy thing now.
What do you mean
not
spiraling?
you, not you.
Brandon.
You're
You're just saying you're diagnosed that'll just magically be back in a month.
No, I don't. I just don't. I would say this about anybody. I just don't think the meniscus. I think the meniscus is not that big of a deal. If obviously,
Well,
if
it
it's
depends.
Right.
Yeah. No, I know it's
It'd be a huge deal.
It's obviously much lesser than an
can be
ACL. I get what you're saying,
but I'm saying like if it comes out that like you could just clean up the meniscus and
Yeah.
you could be back within a month. You can.
like practicing.
Right.
I guess.
Right. Okay. Yes.
He's not. But I'm saying he wouldn't.
don't-
He wouldn't play a game for at least 2 months.
Yes. Okay. We're on the same page.
Yeah.
And again,
That's like good. That's like good case scenario.
Can I ask you guys a question about that's going viral on Twitter and obviously Big T went about it. I know.
You can
it's-
ask us a lot of
yeah.
questions.
Do you guys think that you're allowed to have a wedding during football season?
So I got married during football season, but what we did, we got married during the bye between the Super Bowl, between the AFC NFC Championship and the Super Bowl. We intentionally planned that weekend because we wanted to get married in the winter. It was a little bit cheaper. It was January, right before COVID. So we picked that weekend because we didn't want to. A lot of my friends are sports fans. I'm a sports fan. I didn't want to have it that time, so I decided not to do that. But some people have obligations, family, money. There's a lot of stuff going on. So a wedding happens once, or if you're me, twice. But
I think that in New York City, you're more likely to see October 12th wedding dates than you are down south.
For sure.
Because in New York City, we say it all the time. Like, we love college football, but we didn't grow up on teams.
right, same in
Like,
New Hampshire.
Most of the people in New York City root
England.
for Notre Dame because it was one of the only teams on TV, and then their grandfathers watched it, and then their fathers watched it, and then we watched it. That's the same reason I grew up rooting for Notre Dame. I know Evan makes fun of that, but like that's the case. Gambling has gotten in the way. I now root for a team each year because you pick a future or whatever. But yeah, like you still care about the Irish. In New York City, I don't think college football is that religious as it is down south. So up here, yeah, you can't fault somebody for and October 12th is still like the last of the nice days. It's actually like it's still like beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
I've been to Columbus Day weekend weddings or different things like that, and they're beautiful. So like, yeah, here, yeah, somebody can get married because they don't realize that Tennessee, Florida is like religion.
But if you're a Tennessee
the
fan,
slate-
you're
You're Tennessee, Florida? No, absolutely not.
It's the October 12th slate is ridiculous.
It's insane.
It's ridiculous.
But I get it. If you're a Tennessee fan, just schedule in Tennessee, Florida.
Yeah, no, you can't do it.
You're an idiot. But
Yeah.
if you're
only gonna get shit from your guests. That's the thing I don't understand. Like, what the downside is negative.
But if you're
There's too much negative that outweighs the positive of getting married that date, especially down in the South where it's nice all the time.
So now, what if
if you invite like Big T to your wedding,
Right.
you're not looking at the Tennessee schedule to make sure like Big T's there or not.
No, but if I'm
When
getting
you're
married,
getting married in the
Tennessee,
general area, you got to know
Or by a
people there and
family.
care about it.
I'm not saying that. I thought it more of it if in Big T's situation. I'm going to just use him as an example because he's the one that was talking about it. If a Tennessee fan schedules a wedding in the Tennessee
Yes.
area for Tennessee Florida weekend,
They're
you
idiots.
are a moron.
Moron.
But-
Everyone's going to complain about it. People are going to be watching it on their phone. No one's going to be paying attention to the wedding. The dance floor is going to be empty. That's on you.
And I think that but if you invite Big T to your wedding, and it happens to be the weekend of Tennessee Florida, you're not selfish. You're
No.
not thinking about Tennessee Florida.
No, like
you have no
if
reason
you're in
to,
New York
yeah.
City or in New England, you grew up kind of where we grew up. College football is not a big. Like I don't really know anything about college football because it was never really a big part of my life. I would never think twice about. I wouldn't think twice about that.
Most people don't think about 8-4 Tennessee.
No.
Well, that's the thing that I was finding so funny. I was like, he's like Tennessee, Florida. I'm like, the game. When has it been relevant in the last
Yeah.
they?
It's always a game, though.
No. Obviously, I'm
This isn't like
Yeah.
Michigan,
I'm
Ohio.
just like we're acting like
For a
these-
casual fan.
Like Tennessee hasn't competed for a national title. Like even when they thought they were a couple of years ago, they literally lost. They got 60 put on them by South Carolina. Like they've literally have not. They beat Bama and then got smoked by South. They have not played like a national title relevant game literally since Peyton Manning was there.
I think it's a grow up.
Really?
I mean, when have they?
I don't know.
I'm saying I'm thinking in our brain.
It's accurate.
A true like. They have been in the top 10.
No, 'cause they won the
beat
year-
they
they
beat
won the
Bama
year.
a few years ago, which was like thought that like after that they thought they were going to
Yeah.
be like in that realm, and then they got like annihilated by South
They
Carolina.
won the year after Peyton Manning, though. So technically then.
That's what I'm saying. Like
First
since
ever beat-
literally the
I think I was in high
late
school.
90s.
Yeah.
98.
What was it?
No, I just want
98. They won a title in
Year after I was
98.
at
I
high
just
school.
want it on the
How old I
record.
am.
It's a year after Peyton Manning.
Yeah, so
You're
yeah,
right. But since then,
98.
they've always played.
I was 4 years old.
They're always one of those teams.
I was a year out of high school.
I was 4 years old. I'm gonna be 30 in a month.
They're like Miami.
44.
They're like Miami since like 06. Like when the last time
Miami's fought for titles more recently.
But
been in the
but
mix
They're
more
always in.
recently.
They're like Tennessee. It's like there's a big game feel. You like.
Oh
want
no!
them to
Listen,
be in the mix.
I love going to
Playing
Knoxville.
nice time. They're playing nice games, but they're never in the title race.
Like they've played huge games. Like I said,
Yes.
like that Bama game a few years ago was a massive game.
Yes.
But it was the middle of the season, a massive game with two teams that legitimately for competing for playoff like national title opportunities. But then they threw it away later on, so it didn't even end up really mattering. But more my point is just Tennessee like acting like they're like
But it's still
Ohio State or
religion.
Georgia or like even like LSU one of these years where they've had like a real like title team. Like they haven't had that literally in this century.
But Tennessee, Florida is still religion down there. So you
No, 100%. I'm just, but I agree. I was just making the joke, like who, like them, like what are you really missing?
Right.
Tennessee, like what do you? Come on.
So, like, what
go
do
to
you-
your sister's wedding, pal.
To the larger question at hand, what are people supposed to do? Like put the entire fall in the back burner because
pretty
of college
much.
football and football? Like that's just not.
So the thing I agree with them, where
That's
if
not like-
you're
that's
like
not how life works.
If you're based in Tennessee, like I
Right.
said at the beginning, that like that whole
Sure.
part I agree with, but. I mean, I feel like it's different for us, or I'll say me, just because I work with it so much and I have to travel so much that like I a few years ago when we did a Michigan show, it was like I think it was when they played Washington, maybe like 3 years ago. I missed like one of my best friend's wedding for that show.
But you had no workout.
But that's a me. Like
Yeah, it's not
I'm
the
just
same.
not getting Wally Pipped out of that role. I'll never like I'll be there. I'd
That's
literally
like
die
that-
before I miss it.
That's like you having to go on a sales trip. You had a regular job. That's different. That is.
It was a little different. He understood. He didn't even bring
That's
my
a
balls
work
out at all. But yeah, so that's what I said for me. Like I would never get married in the fall just because I'm so busy, and I would
and you enjoy it.
I would prefer if I was getting invited to a wedding, like any of my close friends, like be like, guy, if you're just getting married on like a Saturday in the fall, like I probably can't go. But that's just me specifically.
just you, right.
I would never act like, what am I going to tell my friend? Like, don't get married this day for fucking just me.
So I thought I was being very smart by getting married in the bye week, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm smart, right? This way, anniversaries, I'm not gonna get fucked.
Yeah.
The NFL changed their schedule. Now it's the weekend of the NFC AFC Championship game now since that happened. So, but my wife's very understanding though. So
But at least that's a Sunday though.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
that's
always
true,
going to be
right.
a Sunday.
Like they're
So
both games are on
right.
Sunday,
I'm
so
not-
it's like if
it's
you
not
get
like
married
wild
Saturday,
card weekend where
it's
I'm-
actually
That
like
is true.
it's actually like perfect because there's no college football.
and she's she loves football too, so she doesn't want to like. So it worked out
You
perfectly.
got married on a Saturday?
Yeah,
So you could just go out Saturday night. That'll be your anniversary every year, and then you never have to worry about Sunday.
that's true, right? Because it always falls on 25th. That's right. That's right. It's very helpful.
One last thing about the
Yeah.
weddings, then we can get back. What about March Madness? Because I
was gonna bring this up.
I think that for March, you
I've
know
been
when
to a
March
few.
Madness is. I think you know when March Madness is every single year. It's an all-day affair, and it's for a month. It's not for an entire season. You're not like asking nobody to get married during the spring or the
All
fall.
right, so what's fair during March Madness? I'll go through it. I've been to weddings on the Saturday of championship weekend.
Fair.
Do you think
2
that's
games.
No, the Saturday of
Final Four. You're saying?
No, the Saturday of championship weekend conference tournaments.
No, that's entirely.
Oh, no.
That was
Rico.
Rico. Yes,
Come
it's
on.
fucking fine. Are you fucking?
Nobody
serious?
cares about these
Dude,
days, guys.
I
It was a
agree.
tough day though.
I agree with you, but
Yeah,
dude,
but those are.
No, I was the girls plus
dude,
one.
What
And
the fuck are we talking about?
all right, I'm going through the fair or foul. I'm telling you the date I was on a wedding. You fucking idiot. The best was she was like, I was the plus one. She was in the wedding party, so she's like, she goes, you can get down there at like check-ins at like 3:00. So you can get down there at like 3:00, and then the reception's at like 5, or the ceremony's at 5, and then cocktail hour starts. I go, yeah, okay, no problem. She's like, take my car down so we have a way to get back. This way we're not taking 2 cars. All right, yeah, no problem. I'm her date. I call early. I'm like, listen, I'm checking in. I'm coming from far out of state. I say, it's in Jersey. I'm like, I'm coming from far out of state. I really could use an early check-in. Like, all right, no problem. We get you an 11 a.m. check-in. I was in bed under the covers for the America East tip-off at 11 a.m. and watched all the games all the way through in the hotel until the fucking ceremony. I debated not going to the fucking wedding. I was like, I'm going to miss the Big East. I'm going to miss the Big 12. I was like, I'm thinking about not going to this wedding. So fair or foul during the tournament?
It's completely,
Obviously-
all fair.
Tournaments.
Don't get
fair.
married in March
don't
because
think
the
you
weather
really-
sucks. That's
you-
the only reason
I
you don't get
can't
married.
take-
All right, what's the
I'll
ideal?
forget
The ideal day is the day of the elite, the Saturday of the Elite Eight. I think is the best day to have it during March Madness. Only miss 2 games. Elite Eight. It's the worst thing. You're not missing much.
If you're counting conference championship week, it'd probably have to be that day. Because I think I'd rather see
day?
the tournament, like the true tournament games,
Yeah.
than just like the conference final for like the SEC. Or
Yeah.
actually, SEC's even on.
The Sunday.
Or they're on Sunday. The Big Ten's on Sunday. So even you're really just missing like Big East, which obviously is a big one. But if you got to
It's
give
the
up
Big
one
East,
of those,
Big 12, and ACC.
yeah, I'm giving those up over tournament games, or like real tournament games.
It's also like for like the conference tournaments. Like if you're a Providence alumni and Providence makes the Big East championship, like you can't see that coming.
No.
No.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you can't just.
Yeah.
But yeah, the last part is Nicky Mush. Marty had to deal with that. Marty was the best man for Nicky Mush's wedding when it was the first Friday of the tournament.
First Friday of the tournament.
He had to miss the
I
entire.
remember that. Yes, that was a couple
right?
years ago.
Right? It was
Yes.
first Friday, I think. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, that was. I know. I just saw it.
He
It's
was-
going viral right now. The argument.
Yeah, I mean, you can't.
I think you'll see more people get married during the fall nationally than you will that
In March.
weekend in March.
because
Right.
the weather is shitty.
Hey, you nailed it. That's the first thing I thought of. Was like, it doesn't happen March Madness because who gets married in March besides Nicky Mush?
It's such a coin flip of how the. I mean, we got married in January. It was a risk, and we were like, all right, we saved a ton of money. It worked out. Thank God. And then right before COVID, it all worked out perfectly for us. But like, you're definitely flipping the coin, especially in the Northeast. The weather. But yeah, but honestly, like, just go to the wedding. I mean, are you really gonna like?
No, you go to any wedding. It's
Course,
it's
like,
all
don't-
fair. It's all fair. It's just levels of how much does it suck.
I just think the Big T thing, it was more, I think it was blown out of proportion in the sense that someone who he was like a Tennessee-based person, like they would just never get married like that. Like,
Right.
it's one of those, you're saying I wouldn't go, and it sounds like so crazy, but it's also like, your sister would just never get married that weekend. It just
Right.
would like
It would- yeah.
anyone with a brain from like, so it was this argument where I'm like, it's like sticking your heels in the sand of like an argument that's like obviously never going to happen. So you like, I don't know, it sounds all like crazy and like tough.
Very, very, very hypothetical.
Yeah, it's like, it's obviously
You'd have
not
to
going
be.
to happen.
You'd have to be
like-
dragged as like a +1, or it's your wife's friend from work, and they're just not sports people. The non-sports people, and then you look at that. Why would you be friends with non-sports people in the first place?
And the whole point,
Rarity
but
that
the
you're not.
whole argument was based off of but the whole thing was based off of it was a sister, Rico. Like
Oh,
saying
okay.
like your like so
Yes, that's what I'm
obviously
saying.
if your sister's in like your family, she obviously has some
Yes,
even if she's not
she
a
has
sports person,
grasp.
she has some grasp of like what's going on. Your family's obviously into it. You're into it. Like clearly,
It'd be-
and all the people that are from there are into it. Like
It's a very hypothetical.
I'd imagine all the friends she grew up with are into it. People that you're gonna invite her
Yes.
into it. Like
You know what's
It
worse?
just would never happen.
Worse is getting married when people get married on holidays. That pisses me off more. Like some Labor Day weekend or like New Year's Eve, because like I don't want to. Now it's a whole thing because everyone like that. That's more of a pain in the ass than missing out on a sports thing for me.
I like Labor Day weekend and Memorial Day weddings. I don't like New Year's Eve.
I never.
I agree with
New Year's
Dukes.
Eve.
I don't like
I went
any
to a
of
pretty cool one Thanksgiving Eve.
You missed the Maui Invitational?
I did. I watched
Wow.
it. Shut up.
That's
Phil.
what you shouldn't do.
In the car on the way
Where's the
down.
fucking
God.
conference championship?
Sacrifices.
I watched it. It was the first year.
Gonzaga, Kentucky, November.
Oh, it was Zion Gonzaga.
Oh.
They moved the. It was.
That actually sucks.
It was the first
That
year.
actually sucks.
It was the first year they moved it up to 5 o'clock. I watched it on the stream down.
Oh, thank God.
So I got to watch.
You're a hero, man.
All right, thanks, Phil. How many plus ones are you at weddings, Phil?
So my cousin actually got married in 2015. Game 1, the Mets were in the NLCS, so I actually had to watch that game on my phone. And then I went to game 2 the next
That would
day.
actually
I'm
be
sure
so
you're a
funny.
wonderful
If we
guest
got, like,
at that wedding.
If we got like Rochelle Ryan to be Phil's like +1 at like a wedding. Something
That would
like
be fantastic.
That'd be unbelievable.
This is
That would be
literally
great.
like 9 years ago, too. So.
Is that the last wedding you've been to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know
None of
this
my
is-
friends have gotten married yet.
Shocking.
Actually, my godfather got married. My godfather got married on a college football. Like it was like Ohio State. It was the one when they got
okay.
when they got smoked by Purdue.
Oh yeah.
What's better though, having Phil not having to go to any weddings, or having to go to like 10
I
a
do
year?
I do have a friend that's engaged, not married yet.
But I'd almost prefer the Phil lifestyle. Like we all had those years where you have to go to like 8 or 9 weddings a year. You're like, fuck this. I had to do this shit again. But like, it's almost better to have that.
But, I mean,
What's amazing is always too that there's wedding. I've been to 3 weddings I think on Father's Day weekend, the day before Father's Day.
Really?
You can't even think about getting married the Saturday before Mother's Day.
Oh God, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Oh yeah, my one of my best friends just got married the day before Father's Day.
Yeah,
actually.
that happens.
literally like in
Very
June.
popular day.
It has
It's a very
happened, you're
popular
right.
day.
June 15th.
You can't even. You get shunned. I went to one wedding on the Friday of Mother's Day, and even that was a rarity. They were like, "Ooh, it's Mother's Day weekend. Like you can't."
Oh, I think that's crazy.
I'm just telling you, bro.
Like, if you
Mother's
get
Day
married
is
Saturday,
protected.
Mother's Day, Sunday, like who cares?
Mother's
Like,
Day is
Oh
protected.
no, he's right though. Think about it. Think about how rarely it's happened. You know why? Because mothers control the weddings.
I just need you
that's
guys'
actually a
take on
great
this.
point.
One last thing. Sorry, I know this is getting dragged out way too much.
No,
but
it's fine on Wednesday.
How about
Big T saying
Wednesday, it's fine.
Big T saying that he would go to his brother's wedding, but not his sister's.
Yeah.
I need your take, Rico. Like you're like.
The man's
that
got
was
principles. I don't know what he's. I don't know. The man's got principles.
the man hates women. He said, I said I was even trying to defend him a little bit because my knee jerk was like I would think it'd be the other way around, but my knee jerk was I guess if you're coming from the mindset of like you'd be the best man.
Maybe.
That's I'm trying to throw him a lifeline there.
No, go to your family's weddings. Life's too short. Stop.
Yeah, but I'm saying the fact that he would even say like I'd go to my brother's, not my sister's.
Clemmer, the way
I'm trying
he
to
said
throw
it,
him like, oh, because you'd be the best man, right, Big T? Like that's why. That's
and
what you're
he
saying?
also was like so like he was like well of course I'd go to my brother's but not my sister's, like as if everybody in the room would agree with it.
Like, yeah, for sure. You always like fuck your sister. Who gives a shit about your sister?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
dumb bitch. Like, fuck her.
Very strange.
Bizarre. It is Wednesday. Anybody got a win total?
Yeah, go first.
All right, I'll give you a first one. I'm going to take Oregon over 10.5.
Interesting. Wow.
They got 2 games that I think they're really only contested in, Michigan and Ohio State. I think they're a national title contender. That means they go 11-1, 12-0. That's what title teams do. I'm going to take. They could even lose the Ohio State game. I'm going to take Oregon over the 10.5. It's plus 100. They're my title pick, so that's the way I got to go. If I think a team's going to go 11-1, 12-0, I got to take the over. We're getting late into the season, so there's less and less that you like. But I'm going to take the over 10.5. Plummer, you got one?
I have a caveat with mine. It's one to keep an eye on, not necessarily one to play right now. How close do you think the Steelers are to getting Ayuk?
It sounds like pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close. I had that.
But it's
on the
like you
list,
just
too.
don't know.
All right, so the line right now is 8.5, over 8.5.
Scooped by Phil. We have to give Phil credit on that.
Yep.
Scooped by Phil.
Yeah, shout out McPhil. 8.5 is the line, but it's plus 120, so it's plus money. If the Steelers get Ayuk, I think they can win. I know that division's
Pull it up.
impossible,
Pull it up.
but like, do you guys see a path there?
Yes. Once we go through the schedule, my favorite exercise.
We love this,
Ev's,
Rico.
Ev's worst.
Rico and
I
love
hate it in the NFL because there's just teams are so different.
But you,
every
can
year
get,
that
you,
it's
agree you can get a ballpark of wins. You can get a
don't agree with
ballpark
that.
of wins, Ev.
I mean, sure,
Come on, dog.
sure.
Win, loss. Come on, dog.
All right, here we go.
Win.
Loss, loss.
Falcons.
Win.
Falcons. I'm going to say that's a loss.
Oh, we love the Falcons on this show.
Broncos.
This is a Falcons.
By the
show.
way, if you're keeping track of whenever the Falcons are, they're undefeated so far.
They are.
Oh, Falcons.
That's
Look
16
out,
and
Dolphins.
1.
If you went, I wonder. Sorry, if you did if somebody fact checked us for like,
Yes.
if we looked at someone else's schedule, like,
We
It's
got
like,
yeah
I don't know
right.
if- I don't know if I've ever.
Yeah.
if we did the Falcons like Steelers at the loss.
yeah.
I don't know if I've ever told this story before. But my dad coached us in summer league CYO basketball, and they called to get the standings. Like they were like, "We're calling for your schedule. Tell us like what games you won." He goes, "Oh, okay. Is this for the playoffs?" They're like, "Yeah." He goes, "So we got to play more games in the summer?" And they're like, "Yeah, sir. You have to play more games." He goes, "Okay, we lost every game."
Yeah.
He goes, "Sir, that conflicts. We already have." It's like St. Patrick's and Holy Rosary said you beat them. You couldn't possibly have gone winless. And he's like, all right, fuck it, fine, all right, whatever. Like, he just didn't want to play any more games in the summer. Was trying to say he went winless. That's what the Falcons are here. They're undefeated. All right, pull up the rest. Broncos is probably a win.
It's a win.
Yeah.
Chargers is a
win.
ballpark.
Nate, that's a win in Pittsburgh.
home.
We'll call it that. I think we should
Is
call
that
it
a win?
Got Ayuk. If they have Ayuk.
Colts a toss up. Cowboys
tough
a
game.
loss.
Colts. We get.
Cowboys even at home could be winnable, but
Let's give them one of those two.
toss up.
Give them Colts or Cowboys.
Just go 1-1. Just call it 1-1.
Yeah, that's
All right,
totally, I'm at
that's
three wins. I'm at three
I think
wins.
You guys
so
are
far.
a little like high already.
No, we're not high.
Raiders should be a win.
That's a win. It's 4.
They're pesky.
Even that's tough though. But
That's
we'll
a
give it to
loss.
them.
That's a loss.
But even at home,
Giants
that's
is
another tough
winnable.
one.
I'll say the Giants is winnable.
Giant. That's a win. That's 5.
Should win.
Winnable.
Commanders should win.
winnable.
Six. We're already at 6.
Winnable. Ravens no.
Loss.
Steelers
Let's
is
say
split.
Browns no,
Loss
even though they
in
will
Cleveland.
split that.
Give them a split with all three because that's that's what's going to happen.
I'll give them a loss for the
I'm
Bengals.
giving them
I'll give
6
them a
and
win
6
for the
in the-
road.
It's 7 or 8 winnable
3 and
games
3 in the
already.
division.
7 or 8 winnable games, and then what's rest?
So that's
Who's next to the Ravens? Eagles no, Chiefs no, Bengals no, Ravens no.
that back.
What do you think it is?
But see the way you just said it, you just gave them like 0-6 in the division.
Yeah.
You just gave them all losses.
You're way too. Yeah.
This is why I hate doing this shit.
Dumb.
Well,
Because it's so
he fucked it up.
stupid.
Rico just
I didn't fuck it up. I said at the end. Pull up the end. The last
end
4.
of
I
it, the
said.
end
I
of it.
said just
Yeah.
Last 4.
You guys are going 0-8 in the
Just
season.
call the division 3 and 3 because that's what's gonna fucking happen.
All right.
They're gonna split with all of them.
All right, you think they're beating the Chiefs and Ravens?
I think they could
they
steal one from the Ravens. Like I think that's possible.
All right.
Chiefs is a tough game, obviously.
Eagles
Always
loss.
a tough game.
So we had 7 or 8 wins there.
What's the number?
8.5.
And you think you get it before you get Ayuk? Yeah, they have 8
Plus
winnable
120.
games. They have 8 or 9 winnable games.
I just have my eye on that.
It's Tomlin.
But you got to have the courage to pull the trigger before because once they get Ayuk, that line's gonna move. So
All
you
right.
got to have a little. You got to have some testicles.
It's an eye opener.
There you go.
Team to go 17-0. Falcons are plus 18.
One of the biggest.
What are they?
Just
Plus 18,000.
In.
generally such a waste of money. Just a bad bet.
Unless you bet the Falcons.
Who really can be the last remaining?
No one's gonna.
Oh, the last
Who
remaining.
can be the last remaining undefeated?
last remaining.
Depends on the schedules.
Yeah, it's scheduled to. Yeah.
Because who has honestly the Steelers are a pretty soft start. I'm not saying they're one of them, but you know what I mean. Like who has an easy road? Like the Chiefs have an easy.
I'd guess a team like obviously you have to see the schedule, but a team like the Ravens or like somebody like that.
I almost think the Ravens know because I'm guessing they play a division.
Oh, they play the Chiefs week 1.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So that takes both
So
of them out of the
one of them's going to be gone before anyone else even plays a
The
game.
Jets. I know the Jets obviously play like the Niners right off the gate, but
That's a tough
that's
one.
tough. But
tough.
they have
Could
an
the
easy schedule.
Not- yeah,
though, right?
Niners.
What about the
you could say.
Packers? Could the Packers rattle off like 8 in a row?
How about the Falcons?
Open the season?
Falcons have it. No, Falcons have an easy.
How about the Falcons?
How about the Falcons?
Yeah.
How about
Pull them up.
I'm just saying because the
No,
competition's
no,
so
we're not
soft.
pulling it up. I'm not.
How many?
Yeah,
how
yeah,
many
yeah.
wins do they start with?
Yeah, probably 17.
How many do they start with?
Falcons?
How many do they start with?
We're all laughing.
Could
We're
be
all
a lot,
laughing
could be a
now.
little.
You wait. Kirk Cousins works his magic.
Pull it up.
Win.
Like we just
Win.
did. Like we just.
That's tough.
All right,
All right.
2 games.
Yeah. Oh, and then they get the Chiefs. All right. No, never mind.
Maybe if they're lucky too.
All right. Well, maybe they'll have a tough start. They'll be
Well, honestly, no. You want to?
Well, I'll tell you what. They could be 2 and 1. They could be 3 and 1.
No, this is what the Falcons will do. Let me hear me out. This is what the Falcons
4
will
and
do.
1, 5
The
and 1.
Falcons are going to lose one of those first 2 games, maybe, and then or maybe
lose
both,
2 of the 3.
and then beat the Chiefs. That's what's.
Oh,
I agree with that.
Remember,
All right, so let's say even
remember
if they
I said
lose-
this. They're going to lose one of those first 2, if not both, and then beat the Chiefs.
Even if they lose to the Chiefs, pull it back up. They're looking at 6 and 1 off the get go.
Well, no.
what do you mean they're looking at 6 and 1?
They're not getting
Actually,
the Eagles
6
in
and 1.
Philadelphia?
They're looking at 1 and 6 too.
No. They'll be. No, look at that. They got the
Looking at
Panthers, Saints in there.
2 and 4, 3 and
Buccaneers.
3, and
Fuck the
4 and
Buccaneers.
3.
Panthers, Bucks,
Bucks
Seahawks.
again.
They're gonna lose a stinker.
Yeah, they'll lose one.
They're gonna
stinker on the
flex that
road.
Cowboys
No, the
Falcons.
Broncos would be the one they'd lose on the road.
We're gonna be doing the dirty bird in this office. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I got to get some Falcons merch.
Who do you want to get? I'll get a jersey.
I mean, we got the deal with 47.
We should have like a
I
Falcons
just got a
Friday.
47 hat.
Oh, yeah,
Falcons Fridays.
Falcons.
Everyone wears a Falcons jersey.
Yeah.
Can we get like some kind of vintage store or something on Amazon?
That guy down in the corner.
Yeah.
He's got anything going on.
Get like a Jamal Anderson.
Yeah, the Dirty Bird. Let's go.
All right.
Chris Chandler running around.
Falcons
all
Fridays.
concussed.
All right, I'm in on Falcons
Yeah,
Fridays.
Me too. I love it. Let's go
Now I have
Falcons.
to place the Falcons win the Super Bowl.
Everyone has to bring a bet for the Falcons game. Like a prop for like.
Only positive
Yes.
too. No negative Falcons bet.
Yes, parlay them all together.
It would. Do you know?
We have a Falcon in here on the last Friday.
An actual
sort of
bird or a person?
Actual bird.
Any sort of reputation this show has, if the Falcons suck this year, gone. I think that everyone across the board is big on them.
Even Kendrick.
best.
We brought Kendrick in on Monday. Kendrick's like, I love the Falcons. I'm like, oh, you too?
Have you seen their odds too? Like their division odds are just skyrocketing
Yeah,
up.
they're just.
Like they were plus like 130 to win the division. Now they're minus 120.
Yeah, I'm on it.
They're minus money to win the division.
Division
They should
stinks.
be.
They should be.
They should be.
Division
No,
stinks.
I agree they should be the favorites, but
Saints are a mess. Panthers are a mess. Bucks are doo doo.
Yeah. The Bucks.
I love
Bucks
how
at
we're
best
back
are
on like
9
the
and
Bucks
8.
are doo doo. Like they could
it's when
win.
Marty's not here to defend them. The Bucks. I think the
Yeah,
Bucks,
Bucks
are
are
solid
good.
again.
Bucks are fine.
The Bucks are eh.
No, I agree. They're closer to than great for sure.
They'll never be better than they were last year. That was their peak.
No, I do tend
I
to
say never. I mean this year.
They overachieved for
game.
sure.
The Falcons play a New York City area game.
I'll look. I think they play the Giants.
They play Giant. Yeah.
Wait, let me look.
That's gonna be hard to root against the Giants.
No, it's
Bosco
Giants
root
at
against the
Falcons.
Giants.
Should we have
Giants-
an Atlanta weekend?
At Falcons, huh?
Damn. Closest one. Philly.
Oh,
That'd be wild.
If we went to Philly dressed as Falcons fans,
die.
When is that game?
September 16th.
The real dirty birds.
The Dirty Birds versus the Dirtier Birds.
Oh my God. Ev, what's your win total?
All right, so we talked about check out Next to Reference. Got the Big 12 preview came out last night. Team that I'm really, really high on, and a coach that I think is going to reestablish himself as one of the premier coaches of college football. Was a hot name a few years ago. I think this year they come back. I like Iowa State over 7.5 wins. They bring back more production than any team in college football in the entire nation this season. Bring back almost basically their starting 11s on both sides. Rocco Becht, unbelievable freshman season. I think has a big year too. Matt Campbell, like I said, was a few years ago one of the hot names. Thought before Harbaugh started turning around, thought he was going to maybe get the Michigan job if Harbaugh got fired. Michigan State, pre-Mel Tucker, maybe that even should have been what they should have done.
Campbell, right? Is that
Yeah, Matt Campbell, just really, really good coach. I think he reestablished himself. Really was having kind of had a little skid since Brock Purdy was there.
Yep.
But I really think they're due to have an awesome year this year. Like I said, just bring back a lot from a really, really good defense. Back in year 2, I think is going to take a big leap forward. Was already really good last year, especially the end of last year. I think they're in a great spot, new Big 12, to have, like I said, a very strong defense, really good offense, is a complete team, well coached. And so I think they're going to be in the title game. I think they make a run. Iowa State over 7.5 wins.
Unbalanced schedule, so you don't play everybody, so they could get
That's
the
a
draw
week or
there.
two. Yeah, not a bad draw with the schedule.
Pull them up. What do they got?
Who are we talking about?
Iowa State.
Iowa State.
You want me to go through their schedule?
Yeah.
Yeah, rip it up. But yeah, I really think they have a shot to win like 9-10 games and be right there in the conference.
Could
Big
that
12 has a
get
lot
them
of-
into the playoffs, Seth? If they win
Yes.
10?
If you win the conference, yeah.
Yeah.
If they
If you
won't,
win the conference, you're automatically in.
winning the
That's how it
conference.
is.
Winning the conference will be tough because they have like Utah, but
North Dakota,
Iowa will be a tough game, obviously.
be
But that's
very
always
tough.
a dogfight. That's a win.
Arkansas State's a basketball school.
Houston's a win. They're going to be dog shit. Baylor should be a win. West Va, tough game. Like that's a
UCF, I've seen a lot of love.
UCF is.
to
I
it.
think they win that at home, but I wouldn't call it like it's not just like a cakewalk.
Texas
UCF's
Tech, I'm
good.
down on.
Texas Tech should be a win. Kansas, tough game, but very
Cincinnati's
winnable.
dog shit.
Cincinnati should be a win. Utah, really, really tough game.
What's the number?
7.5. I really think there's 8-9
How about
wins.
that Kansas State game at the
Texas Tech,
Tough game as well, but at home they get it at home.
end? All right.
7.5.
Yeah, I think they get home because
Okay.
I think like Cincy, Tech, the two shitty teams like Baylor, all that Houston, like those are
Yeah.
like gimmies. And then if they really can just win like 1-2 out of like UCF,
They got to win Iowa too.
Iowa's a big one for sure. I think if they win one, like the Kansas, UCF, and if they win like one of those games, I think there's a good chance they win both.
They play Kansas State tough too. I know that game's in Kansas State, but they play.
It'll be a dogfight. Like those type. I think they're going to be
Kansas.
I really think like that game against Kansas State could be like winner of that game is going to like play Utah in the Big 12 championship.
You're that high on Utah.
I'm huge on Utah.
I've seen a lot of people.
I think Utah's going to win it all. I saw somebody win like the Big 12.
I saw somebody put UCF in their playoff hunt.
I think they could be good. They're a team that I think I put. I'm sorry, I actually went with someone else. I forgot. I switched them out, but I almost went them as like we were doing like surprise team where so I almost put them as wild card team because I think they're a team that if they have Harvey's like a stud running back. They brought in Boone from Toledo, who's like also a stud. So now they have like a legit two-headed monster. Two of the best in the country, probably. And then last year they had Plumlee, who was like really athletic, but just not a great thrower. They bring in KJ Jefferson this year from Arkansas, who's like I feel like you get so many different opinions on how good he actually is, depending on who you ask. Like Brandon hates him. I think he's better than Brandon gives credit for. I think he's a better passer than he gets credit for, more accurate, doesn't turn the ball over. He's a big, like heavy running quarterback. Like he's not going to run for like 1,000,000 yards, but he'll get you those like tough yards. Yep. I just think he's a big upgrade at quarterback. I think the big thing people are going nuts is he joins Gus Malzahn's offense. Malzahn's had incredible success at running quarterbacks. Obviously like Cam and all that. He's had a lot of success with that. So I understand the excitement. They also brought back a lot, and they were decent last year. So I do like understand the hype because I think their offense could be prolific if things go the right way. But I think Iowa State's just a little better defensively, and I think they should be pretty. I'm telling you, Becht is really, really good. I think he's going to become like a college football household name this year.
So what conference are they in? I'm sorry?
Big 12, which they've always been the Big 12. But
whoever wins the Big 12 gets the automatic berth. How about the Mountain West?
No.
So you win the Mountain West, you do not have an automatic berth.
No.
Okay.
It's the 5.
Yeah, the highest ranked non-Power 5 team gets in the playoff.
Okay.
Which is
Boise's been like a favorite to win that, and they're in the Mountain
West. Yeah. So I have Hawaii in my NCAA game. I play.
Hawaii, in theory, if they were the best, like highest ranked, yeah.
I've gotten to the playoffs 3 times. Very exciting. I went to the Natty. I lost though.
Very
sad.
That's where it's a weird scenario for Notre Dame. Notre Dame could be the number 1 team overall in the entire playoff.
Okay.
The highest ranking they can get is 5.
Oh. Because the 4 automatic bursts?
That's kind of their penalty for not joining a conference.
Okay.
But on their end, it's kind of like because I've gotten I hate Notre Dame. I've gotten like Twitter wars with them about this when it came out. That their stance on it is like they're willing to kind of take that and like just never get a bye ever, even if they earn it, because obviously they keep their NBC rights and all that, the TV rights. Plus, if that say they were the number 1 team in the country and they had to be the number 5 seed. You just get a legit home playoff game
against 12.
Just more, but it's money. It's the money.
No, but against the 12 seed.
But I'm saying yes. But I'm saying it's the money why they like it.
And it's a desirable matchup. That's all.
Sure.
It's not like you're getting an 8 or a 9 where you could lose.
So you're getting a home playoff game. So but they missed out on a bye. Does that bye team get a home playoff game or no? That's at a neutral site.
The bye team gets a bye. The bye team doesn't get a home playoff game. Bye team gets a bye.
They're just like in the next round already.
And the next round is not a home game.
Only home games are 5-12. 5-12, 6-11, 7-10, 8-9.
So that's bizarre. The only way to ensure a playoff game is if you don't get a bye. Right. Bizarrely,
a home playoff.
Game. Excuse me. That's interesting.
But you're just obviously like have advanced already to like the final 8 essentially.
I guess they're
like if you win the ACC, SEC, Big 10, Big 12.
Big 12.
Yeah.
You're a top 4 seed.
Yeah. Picks. I got the Padres tonight. They don't lose. I'm gonna take the Padres.
Padres are so good right now. It's
take the Padres.
So upsetting. Padres and Diamondbacks are so good right now.
Yeah. Ev, what do you got?
I'm taking the Reds. I'm on the Reds, and I also like the Rays plus money. And I know the Astros have been hot, but
my pick of the day is Brian Wu outs over 17.5. So basically, he goes 6 innings. He's facing the Tigers. Tigers have a team on base percentage like 296. I just think they run into a lot of outs pretty quick. They hack a lot, so that might be a chance. And I'm on the Brewers. It's plus money. It's plus 100. I just don't believe in Walker Buehler. Frankie Montas pitches the Brewers. He stinks too. I'm not saying that, but plus money against a pitcher that has had a 5 ERA even in the minors, take a chance.
High scoring game, yeah. Dude, you got anything to close?
Yeah, I have a win total.
What do you got?
Oh.
I want to make sure that I have the line right. I think it's UConn over 4.5 wins. I saw that nobody has bet more. There's the most tickets on an under is on UConn, but they have the largest money on their over, which I like. And then I looked at their schedule. They don't have a tough schedule at all, and I think that there's 5 wins there. And I also like what UConn's building. Last year, if you look at it, they went 3-9, but that could have easily been a 5-7.
Yeah.
There's a couple of games that you look back at, lost by 1, that they probably won, like even Utah State last year, I know off the top of my head. Boston College they hung with till the end. So if you look at their schedule really quick, they open it up with Maryland, but look at this.
Temple.
They got Maryland,
Okay.
Merrimack.
Merrimack's a dub.
And you got
Duke is going to be
Honestly,
bad.
Duke
That's
sucks.
a test. Florida Atlantic. Temple's awful.
Buffalo
I
and
think
Temple
Buffalo's
are winnable.
not
Wait, honestly,
great.
even Wake Forest is going to stink.
Rice is better.
Rice is E.J. Warner.
Georgia State is not anything to be worried about
Okay.
to a degree.
UAB's not bad.
UAB's not bad, but UAB's been worse in the years past.
Yeah.
Or they're worse than they are in
Trent,
years past.
Trent Dilfer's there.
UMass is awful.
So you look
You
at
know that
that.
Trent Dilfer
Yeah.
coaches UAB?
You look-
He's the reason that since they've gone down.
Kind of, I guess.
You look at that, right? And then look at their schedule last year where they got 3 wins. They opened up with NC State, which they hung with. Right?
Because they lost to Utah State. Georgia State also, yeah. Like, look at those.
What was their record?
Duke,
in
let's see, that
possession
blew
games?
them out last year. Like, they stink.
2-1. No, 0-3, 0-4, 0-5. They're 0-5 in one possession games as well. That's
I
a
like
big
it.
Phil Steele thing that things go your other way.
So I like the bet. I like the stock.
Is Duke that much worse this year? Because they beat them
They had-
last year by a.
Duke's bad.
They were up last year. They honestly, if Leonard didn't get hurt, they actually would have been like they were
Lost
like
their
pretty
coach.
good. And yeah, they lost the coach, quarterback.
They had Notre
But
Dame.
They also were good in the trenches. Lost a ton in the trenches. And you're talking about like the luck, and they were like very lucky in 1-score games, like in their favor. Like if you remember that big Clemson game when they won, that kind of like put them on the map to start the season. Clemson must turn the ball over, I think, like 2 or 3 times, like inside Duke's 20. Like, they just had a lot of balls bounce against them, or excuse me, bounce for
Go their
them.
way.
And they had a very stout D line that's gone. Like, they're not going to have that this year. New coach, new quarterback. That's definitely downgraded both.
Yep.
Both, in my opinion, significantly. Yeah, they could definitely be bad.
All right. That's Pick Central. Yak's up next. We'll catch you tomorrow.